that was, again, Retta Bress. Really great performance by Retta. Great job. And our next performer, his name is Wayne Martin. He is from Burlington, and today he's going to be performing some original songs and some covers of popular songs. So here is Wayne Martin.
All right, I think hold the applause, folks. The studio audience is smaller than usual today. All right, so I am Wayne Martin, and I'm going to start off tonight with a song I learned from my grandfather. It was written around, 1944. It was first released anyway at that time, and it's written by Hy Zarrett and Lou Singer. And you may not remember them, I certainly don't, but it's called One Meatball. A little man walked up and down. He found an eating place in town. He searched the menu through and through to see what 50 cents could do. One meatball, one meatball, whoa, whoa, whoa. He could afford but one meatball. He told the waiter near at hand the simple dinner he had planned. The folks were startled, one and all, to hear that waiter loudly call, one meatball, one meatball, whoa, whoa, whoa. So this here gent wants one meatball. Now the little man, he felt ill at ease. He said, some bread, sir, if you please. The waiter's voice roared down the hall, you get no bread with one meatball. One meatball, whoa, whoa, whoa. One meatball. He gets no bread with one meatball. The little man felt very bad, but one meatball was all he had. Now in his dreams, he hears that call, you get no bread with one meatball. One meatball, whoa, whoa, whoa. One meatball, whoa, whoa, whoa. He gets no bread with one meatball. No bread, why no spaghetti? Whoa, whoa, we'll call you when it's ready. But ever since I recall, you get no bread with one meatball. Now, isn't that a fun one? Yeah, I liked it. Thanks to Grandpa. So, speaking of grandpas, it reminds me of another song my grandfather taught me. Many, many years ago when I was 23, I was married to a widow who was pretty as could be. This widow had a grown-up daughter who had hair of red. My father fell in love with her, and soon they were to wed. This made my dad my son-in-law and changed my very life. For my daughter was my mother, 'cause she was my father's wife. To complicate the matter, even though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncing baby boy. And little baby then became a brother-in-law to Dad. And so became my uncle, though it made me very sad. Because although he was my uncle, that also made him brother of the widow's grown-up daughter, who of course was my stepmother. Now father's wife then had a son, he kept them on the run. And he became my grandchild, 'cause he was my daughter's son. My wife is now my mother's mother, and it brings me blues, 'Cause although she is my wife, she's my grandmother too. Now if my wife is my grandmother, I am her grandchild. And every time I think of it, it nearly drives me wild, because I have become the strangest case you ever saw. As husband of my grandmother, I am my own grandpa. Grandpa. I am my own grandpa. But there was another grandpa. The other grandpa, he's the one that taught me the songs, you know. And I think I'm going to go over to this next one here. This is a song I wrote. I call it The Scene of the Crime. I was leaving the scene of the crime, and I really didn't have a clue. So came to my senses in the nick of time, thought I'd make a play for you. When our eyes first met, my pulse was skipping, my knees went weak, I was stumbling and tripping. Next thing I knew, something was missing too. 'Cause you stole my heart with just a look. Oh, one little glance is all it took. You stole my heart, I ought to throw the book at you. And I returned to the scene of the crime, but you didn't even leave a trace. Not a name or a number, a reason or a rhyme. It was gonna be a really tough case. So I headed downtown to see the detective, and he said, son, from my perspective, it's a victimless crime. Nothing more we can do. If she stole your heart, you better go get it. If you don't get going, you're gonna regret it. You've fallen in love, I ought to throw the book at you. Now Sherlock Holmes was so uncanny. The mounted police always get their man, and it was my belief I would catch a thief if I could just come up with a plan. Working on a plan here. So there I was at the scene of the crime, drinking a beer, biding my time, ready to accuse you, to win you or lose you, when you walked in at 9:15, and I said, my dear, this is a citizen's arrest for stealing my heart. Do you confess? Well, you said that you did it, and you had to admit you do it again if you got another chance, and you stole my heart again today. In my head it's spinning in a wonderful way, and I'm laughing and a grinning 'cause I'd give it to you anyway. I say you stole my heart again today. In my head it's spinning in a wonderful way, and I'm laughing and a grinning 'cause I'd give it to you anyway. I said I'm laughing and a grinning 'cause I'd give it to you anyway. And that's the scene of the crime. Jeremy, how much more time do I have? One more song? All right. I'm going to play, since it's Thanksgiving, this is the song I break out at Thanksgiving time. I love playing these open mics. I used to play an open mic at a restaurant called Savory Lane. And while Savory Lane was the name of the place, it was actually located on Arlington Street between a big white church and the railroad crossing. And if you're walking down Arlington Street, you might see one of those sidewalk signs that says live music tonight. And in parentheses, entrance around the back, because for some strange reason, there was no front door to Savory Lane. Now, the open mic was hosted by a duo called Two for the Show. And it was a popular one, so I usually had plenty of time to get myself some dinner before it was my turn to play. And the food, well, the food was pretty good too. I had my favorites. Every Thursday night was turkey night. And no, not because turkeys like me got a chance to play, but because a special was a turkey dinner with all the trimmings that really couldn't be beat. And it was available, prepared and packaged in a neat little bundle ready for busy commuters to take home to the family. Rick, the proprietor, he told me that was a tradition that started way back in the 60s by a previous owner. Now, Rick was a huge fan of a singer-songwriter whose greatest hit was an all-American epic loved by millions. And he built a shrine to his idol right there on the stage at Savory Lane. And he had posters from his concerts and colored glossy photographs from great moments in his illustrious career. He even had a handwritten autograph set list, enclosed in glass no less, which I'm told has a paragraph on the back with circles and arrows explaining why each song was selected in that order for that particular show. Yes, Rick was a fanatic. That only added to the atmosphere that made Savory Lane such a fun place to play. Now, if you've noticed some similarities between Savory Lane and another famous restaurant celebrated in song, you might have come to the conclusion that Rick was a fan of a curly-haired troubadour who spends much of his time in the town of Stockbridge, Massachusetts. But Asbury Park, New Jersey, was the hometown of Rick's favorite rock star. And friends, that's what got me writing the Savory Lane song. So if you seek fortune, fun, or fame, then come on down to Savory Lane, 'cause mounted up there on the stage is captured rockin' through the ages with a red bandana and cut-off sleeves and a blonde guitar slung down to his knees. Yes, on that fabled stage you'll stand with the boss and the East Street Band, and it's one for the money and two for the show. Bring your sweetheart, bring your beau, 'cause you share the stage with Springsteen when you play at Savory Lane. And that, folks, is the Savory Lane song. Thanks for listening, and thanks for everybody here at Belmont.